Trailers. Paul Dano comes out with a comic book about the Riddler. All and more in this issue. Bryan, hit that music. Let's go. Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, in the heart of Uptown Whittier, Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 90. My name is Nick Valero.
This is Bryan.
Rene.
And welcome to the show.
Woo! Hey.
I, for whatever reason, was thinking that you were going to say Nick. It's that whole thing from last week threw me off.
Session?
Yeah, that threw me off.
Session and last week.
I made you second guess.
He was like, "Oh man, I don't think Rene knows his name."
Oh Jesus!
Oh shucks, what's my name, guys?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't even say when my name comes up. What should I say? Oh God.
Oh God.
Just the normal things here happening at Keeping Up with the Nerds. We don't know how to intro. We still don't know our names.
I knocked that out in one take. On both.
That's true.
So I'm a professional.
Before we jump into our main topics, guys, just a couple of announcements real quick. So the winners of our comic books will be announced on Instagram and Twitter. If you guys have not followed us yet to know who are the winners, follow us there. That way you guys can know who are actually going to be receiving the comic books. The Batman Year One, Nick has them right over there, so I don't know if you want to pull them out and show them off one more time. To those that didn't enter, I mean, you guys had your chance. I'm sorry. We'll be doing more giveaways further down the line, but those will be given out. I mean, yeah, no, there was an opportunity to do so.
You guys had a chance.
These are pricey.
You missed out.
Yeah, they're pricey comic books.
Yes.
It's a sexy cover.
$10 on eBay.
It's a sexy cover.
There was more than that.
Was
It
it?
was like 25.
No, it was
on
like
eBay.
25, 30.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a pricey issue.
Should be mad more.
It's a solid issue. I love it. I love the way it looks.
You're the problem, not me.
It's gonna be great because
Relax, dude. No.
it's gonna be so funny because if it continues the way it is, I'm going to take them and drop them off.
You just
That's it.
I'm gonna drop them off. Like I don't even have to mail them. I just have to drop them
Depending
off.
who the winner is, we don't know. We don't know. So we'll see what happens.
So far,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
going to
We'll
drop
announce
them
it
off.
on. We will announce the winners on our Insta and Twitter. Follow us to Keep It Up with the Nerds. Also, if you guys have not checked out our partnered channel or partnered creators, Our Real Addiction, they recently posted up their podcast featuring a bunch of Obi-Wan Kenobi talks, just like we did in the last issue. And those podcasts come out 11 a.m., 12 a.m., depending on where you guys get your podcasts. Our Real Addiction, go check them out. Adam Miguel, some great content creators as well. They'll be working with us pretty soon on some things. Keep an eye open for that. Very excited. We're moving things along. It's been kind of, we're chugging, but that's only because we have a lot of things planned out.
Daylight savings.
No, that was
is
you
not
last
helping.
night chugging.
St. Patty's, man.
How was it? I didn't go. So how was it?
It was good.
At Guildhall.
It was good. Yeah.
It was good. It was actually it was slower than I thought.
Yeah.
Really? I
It's
thought
a
it was
Thursday
the-
night.
It was it's a Thursday night. If it would have been on like a Friday night, I feel like
That's
would've
why.
popped.
That's why. I honestly, part of it was because I didn't have money to spend money at Guildhall, and then also it's a Thursday, and I'm like, I don't feel like drinking on.
No, yeah.
I was like,
me and my buddies didn't end up getting home until like 3.
ooh,
Wow.
Like I didn't get home until probably like 3, and then I woke up to go to work at like 9.
So
Ugh.
how much did that deprive you of Elden Ring?
It's about an hour. No, I'm being serious. I got home and then I was like, I can't sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did things, and then that didn't help. So
that reminds me.
What? That he did things?
No. Sorry, I got lost in like my thoughts, and I was thinking about because you was talking.
So was he?
So here's my thought process. So I said Elden Ring, and then I blocked out Nick's voice. Well, no, because I blocked out your voice because I was thinking about something, and then it popped into my head. I blocked out your voice again right now.
Obviously not.
PlayStation's having a sale, I think. I think
really?
the Fallen Order is on sale.
Oh,
Dude, Fallen Order is always on sale.
It is, but I'm just
I
saying
just
it
keep
to him
missing
so
it.
he can get it. Because right now I
Do I
can't.
just need to get you a PlayStation card, and then I'll call your early birthday present?
There you go. Yeah, why not?
I'll accept
I'll
that.
just give you. I'll just give you a $40.
He gets the game and then never plays it.
Dude, I'd be so upset if you got the game and then you were just like, "How's Fallen Order?"
I don't know. I still.
Just sitting there.
I think it's still downloading. I go.
Let me check. No, yeah, it's still downloading.
Actually, I bought the Avengers game instead.
Oh God!
What?
No, I wouldn't do that.
You what?
Actually, Guardians of the Galaxy is pretty good.
I've been wanting to play that.
Guardians is pretty good, which is beneficial if you have Game Pass because you get it for free.
I'm hesitant.
Say that without feeling hurt. Because he bought it. He
Shut
bought it while he still has Game Pass.
Hold on, no. I bought it when it first came out, and it didn't come out to Game Pass for like another 6 months.
Oh, okay.
It was like
Was it 6 months? I thought it was a couple months.
It was like 4 or 5. It was at least 4 or 5 months.
That's fine.
In game time, that's like 2 years.
Yeah,
God.
like that's an entire game cycle, bro.
Yeah.
See, I'm okay. I told myself that I wasn't going to get Elden Ring until it went on sale. But I also need to finish the Halo Battle Pass, and I need to finish the campaign. And the campaign.
Why did you need to finish the Halo Battle Pass?
Because I'm like 10.
It gives you nothing. What does it give you if you finish the Halo Battle Pass?
It makes me feel accomplished.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you finish the campaign at least?
No, because I'm playing it on Legendary.
So did I, and I beat it.
Yeah, I know. I have to play it in like 2-hour increments. Because I
Before you
get tired.
rage.
Yeah, no, because I'm so stubborn headed, sometimes if I have to clear something and it's not working the way I want it to work, and I'm just like, dude.
Now, okay.
Ugh.
Are you the type of
literally, I did it one where I got hurt a lot, and then I was like, you know what, this is dumb. So then I went to a past save.
Mhm.
I then played through it, and then knew I had to go to a specific thing. I went to a spot, picked up a rocket launcher, then went up the thing and just started blowing everything up with a rocket launcher.
Yeah, that's the only way playing on Legendary.
then
It's
just
rockets and snipers.
Yeah, and I went, okay, well, now that's done.
Yeah, that's it. And then I had to do a multiplayer event thing that ended this Tuesday, so I got all 10 levels there, and I was just like, yeah, sure, why not? Anyways, you guys want to move on into our topics of discussion before we board our listeners with video game talk?
You're right, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring?
Bro.
They fall in order.
Dude, no, if anybody's playing Elden Ring right now, that's a great game.
I already said
so good.
I want to bring back Let's Plays. I want to finish Resident Evil 7
Yes, me too.
with you.
Mhm.
And then I told Nick, I'm like, how great would it be if Nick and I hosted an Elden Ring run through?
Well, hopefully
where
Elden
he
Ring's
plays.
still a thing.
It's
by the
always
time
going to be
we-
a thing.
It's never. No.
It's the hot game right now.
Did you
I will
It's
see-
the
say
hot.
this.
It's the hot game right now.
Did you see
it'll
that
die
people
out.
are
It'll
finding
die
out new passageways?
Yeah,
Like the wall that you had to hit 50 times?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That place is just like it's like a maze. Like the map is a maze in
Yeah.
general,
Mhm.
where you can just find things. Have you seen people play it on New Game +7?
How do people have that much time in their hands, man?
Somebody beat the game 7 times and is now playing it on their 7th
No.
playthrough.
7 times by
Yeah,
now. By this time.
the top out is 10. That's the cap.
So what happens at 10? Do you unlock like Elden?
I don't
Do
know.
Elden
do you
God.
actually get a physical Elden Ring from the game?
That'd be kind of sick. But
May
I
mail
don't
it
think
to
so. I don't think so. It's the what was
game.
it? It's the South Park message at the end
I'm.
What was that message?
when they beat Guitar Hero,
Mhm.
and he just goes, "You are a virgin," and they're all like, "That's it.
What?
That's what I got from that." No, yeah, I'm getting close to beating Elden Ring.
Congrats. Do you want
on
a high five?
I do. High five.
No, you don't get a high five.
All right, fine. You don't want.
Don't patronize him.
Hey, it's just
Playing
kids.
Elden Rings.
Yeah, man.
Elden Ring.
Elden Rings.
Elden Rings.
Elden
Yeah, he's
Rings.
playing the Elden Rings.
It's got rings.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being patronized. But anyway, I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate being feeling like I'm. being
What a
patronized.
nerd.
At least look me in the eyes like a man when you're patronizing me. Jesus, talk
Elden
down to me like a
Rings.
child.
It's in the same world of Lord of the Rings, right?
I hate you so much. Don't make me hurt you.
Oh, Elder Scrolls. That's what it is.
The Elder
right?
Scrolls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Elder Scrolls. Written by the
by Skyrim, right?
What am I? You know what the funny thing is? What was it? Because the giants in that game, they have like this like wind ability where they can just like shout at you
Yeah.
and like hit you from afar. And it was so funny because I was playing, and then Andrew was watching my screen, and I got hit by one of those things, and he goes, "Did he just foos you? Like just foos Rada? What a game is this? Like they could just do that? What kind of BS is this?" Yeah,
Can we move on to our topics now? Are you over with Elden Ring?
Yeah.
I'm
so-
never gonna be done with Elden Ring.
I know you're
So-
not. Yo.
That thing's like crack.
Good job. You're addicted to Elden Ring. Anyways.
So, is there? This is a question that I've recently
about
heard of.
Elden
Is there?
Rings?
No, it's not. Is there more wheels in the world compared to doors?
What?
Is there
Obvious-
what's yeah, go ahead. What
Is
are you
there
gonna say?
more wheels than doors in this world?
Yeah.
There's more wheels.
If you counted
Yes.
all the wheels and counted all the doors, which one's more of?
What do you consider a door?
I would say
That's a legit question.
if you can fully go through a door like without having to maybe like scrunch or anything like that.
So a hole?
Basically.
No, but
if
a
your
door
body
needs to have-
if your whole body can go through the hole.
That's an opening. A door is like a physical thing you open and close.
okay, but what do you go? You go through the hole after you open the door.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the door is like a door, like with a thing that opens back and forth with a knob.
Okay,
That's a
then
door.
that's a door.
Yes.
So it doesn't have to. So it doesn't have to be a passageway that you can go through. It just has to be a door.
Yes.
So what about car doors?
Doesn't matter. There's more wheels.
Are there?
I
Yes.
want to say doors
Ooh.
because if you think about also buildings in the world, there's how many doors are in a freaking building?
It doesn't matter.
What do you mean it doesn't matter?
doesn't matter.
You're counting those.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. There's more wheels.
Me and Mandy talked about this, and we both agree there's more doors.
No,
than
you all
wheels.
are. You guys are all wrong. It's more wheels.
How is it wheels?
Because there's more. There's. Oh my god. Man.
Because are you counting like things on a cart, like that? Those wheels
Things
too?
on a cart. Things on a chair.
Yeah.
The cars. You know.
What does cars have?
Rollerblades.
4 doors.
Sometimes
4
they
doors,
have.
4 wheels.
Sometimes they have 3.
That's true. 2 doors.
2 doors in the trunk.
But wouldn't you? Yeah, no. But wouldn't you also count the trunk? Because
That's
also
3.
That's also
That's
a
a 3 door.
And then wouldn't you count the hood?
No, that's not a door.
Why
Can you
not?
open the hood and go through the? I can just imagine Nick going like, "You want to bet?" Opens the hood.
but you never.
I'm
But
gonna
you,
dive in here right now.
but you never said you had to be able to go through it. You just said it had to have a button.
That's
and it
not
had to
a
be,
door. Okay, if you want to be literal, it's a hatch. It's not a door.
which is a synonym for a door.
Oh my god, why are we gonna? We're gonna be spending the entire time this podcast talking about this stupid question.
I was saving for this. I was like, I know only one person would get angry about this topic.
I have to admit, I think I agree with Renee.
No, you don't.
Doesn't it? Like,
I agree with Renee.
if you
'cause
think of it like
honestly,
mathematically, if you think about it kind of in a mathematical sense.
Actually, now that I think about it, no. Technically, a car, if it's a 4-door
Mhm.
car, it technically has 7 doors.
Mhm.
It has 7 doors because you have the 4 doors. Then you also have the trunk, the hood, and the gas tank. Because that's also a door.
Yeah, you guys are right. Yeah, there's more doors than wheels.
You just want to say that so you can move forward.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but you say it, but you don't mean it.
I don't. It's a stupid question
Why is it a stupid question?
because it doesn't
It's
matter.
funny.
Content.
You're gonna get a medal for figuring this out?
No,
No,
I'm just saying it's a great topic.
No, it's not a great topic. I'm not going to spend another 10 minutes.
It's great to
discussing-
have on the podcast.
No, for your entertainment, for
Yes.
Nick's entertainment over
For
here.
our listeners' entertainment.
Dude,
I
they love
would-
to see you react like
They
this.
love
You're
to see
welcome.
me get angry.
Yes,
Why?
because it's funny. You're just like,
Our listeners.
why is it like that?
Why are you asking stupid
Our
questions?
listeners won't be happy till you have a stroke on camera.
Probably.
Like once that happens, then they'll be like, okay, I can stop
Yeah.
watching now. Like,
What was the thing?
I
I
saw
bring
him
this up
rattling on
now
the floor.
because we were talking about it. Remember when we were talking about Aunt May and No Way Home?
Oh, she had it coming. Yeah,
Why?
that's the conclusion I've come up with is that Aunt May had this coming
Why?
because Aunt May forced Peter to heal those people. If you would have just sent them home like you wanted to in the beginning,
Didn't force him.
she did. She convinced him,
Force him.
and she
No,
did that. She
she
did her
gave him an
aunt. She
option.
did her aunt eyes, and
Did
then went.
the ant eyes?
Yeah, she was like, "I'm gonna be very disappointed in you
Yeah.
if you don't, if you
That
kill
family
these people."
guilt.
Yeah, it's that Irish guilt. So when she gets murdered by the Green Goblin, chick had it coming. You know, she reaped what she sowed, and she.
Brian's so quiet.
Just saying, Aunt May had it coming, and you know what? She deserved to die. I agree with Green Goblin here.
Say anything. What do you want me to say? I'm not doing this for your entertainment, Nick.
It's not for your entertainment.
Okay, that's
my
great.
It's his opinion.
That's my opinion. I can't have an opinion.
I respect your right to have an opinion.
Oh, that's such a passive way to say that.
No, you don't. As soon as the camera's off, you're gonna yell at me. And I'm gonna turn the camera back on.
Deleted scenes of the podcast.
Just you beating the hell out of me. Just in a corner crying.
Just like the audio.
Shut your mouth, Nick.
As soon as we close out, we have just the audio play. It's just like, what are you doing?
Is that gonna happen?
No.
Too
I
bad.
can control my anger.
I don't know about that.
You have been.
I have. I'm learning.
I saw you punt that dog.
What?
Joey's gone at least 12 feet. Joey, that's what I've seen. I've seen Joey fly.
Dude, I already told you how I'm going out.
It's underdog. I've seen Joey's underdog at this point.
Can we talk about our topics
What are we
now?
talking about? Let me see what's on your paper.
So,
What's on the handy dandy notebook?
Oh, my Spider-Man notebook
Yeah.
that I love so much right here.
That is actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
why doesn't it say Spidey Tingle?
Peter Tingle.
Peter
Spidey
Tingle?
sense.
Spider. Yeah, it's Peter Tingle.
Yeah. Anyways, Paul Dano
Touch my tingle.
is releasing a comic book.
He is.
Mhm.
Yes. To move on to the actual subject.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's pissing me off.
That is the real subject.
Dude,
of
I'm trying
today's
so hard not to
podcast.
cuss.
I know. I
I can
want you.
sense a vein right here.
I want you to explode and curse at
dude,
me
I'm
and just-
getting a headache. Just
I know the
Yeah,
side.
understand.
There's a vein actually.
There's a
Is
vein.
there really?
There's a vein that looks like it's about to explode.
Paul Dano released his comic book. Whoa, Nick, lead us into this next topic.
All right, so Paul Dano has reportedly begun working on a brand new comic book that is going to be year one of Edward Nashton. It is going to be releasing
AKA
the Riddler.
Yeah.
So it's going to be taking place. It's going to be coming out in June 2000
October.
or October 2022, and it's going to be a bi-monthly comic book, 6 issues.
So I kind of wanted to approach
So it's
this
gonna take
topic.
it's going to take a full year for us to finish the story.
I wanted to approach this topic by asking you guys how successful are these stories whenever they come out, right? Because we talked about this with the Batman, right? When they did the Before the Bat book, to us it was strange because we're so used to prequel comic books when it comes to these types of movies.
Right,
But
right.
for a book to come out, it's like, whoa, that's a really cool way to get the story across, and it was really interesting.
Yeah.
They're doing a comic book for the Riddler, right?
Which would technically take place after the book.
Yes. What throws me off is that it's a bi-monthly,
Yeah.
right? And that piece of news, to me, it doesn't matter. If it was like a monthly issue, cool, that's common, but a bi-monthly is what threw me off completely. So my question to you guys is, why do you guys think it's going to be a bi-monthly issue? Because that is a very interesting piece of information.
That I honestly think in a business aspect, they just want to keep the hype for the Batman going
To make it
Yeah.
relevant.
to make it still relevant, but also too is that there when you watch the movie, this it's year 2 of his Batman run, so there's a big gap, a year gap that we don't know about.
Right.
That DC Comics has so much stories to tell.
Yeah.
They can do the same thing for Selena Kyle. They can do something for Alfred as well too, because it seems like Alfred was like a military man before he met the Waynes and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
It looks like he was more of a bodyguard.
Yeah.
than he was
A butler.
actually he was a butler / bodyguard for the Waynes.
Well, in the book, didn't they say that Alfred was a royal guard?
He was.
I think
he
so,
was.
yeah.
He was,
Yeah, it was in the British military.
he was in the British military.
Yeah. So that kind of brings into kind of like some light of certain characters and stuff. And it's good to see that the Riddler's getting an arc and getting more of an expansive story here because he was an interesting character. Because to me, it's always funny that the Batman's still a topic of conversation because a lot of people are still talking, how it could be compared to the Dark Knight or even Batman Begins or the, parallels between the Riddler and the Joker and, all these different things.
Right.
But what's interesting to me, like I said, a bi-monthly issue has its pros because, like you said, from a business aspect, you keep the movie relevant for another year, meaning that we could possibly be getting a Batman sequel earlier than expected, maybe 2024
Could
or
be something that
2025.
they're pushing forward.
Right.
But I mean, if you were to compare the two for even just their master plans, the Joker is more of watch as I cause chaos, and then everyone turns into savages.
Yes.
Like people think that they're better than everyone else, but in reality, they're just as crazy and or as nuts as I am.
And this book is going to give the Riddler more of a self-identity in this case, because that's the thing is that they've been even I can compare the Riddler to the Joker.
But the thing
in a way.
but the thing is that I wouldn't compare them because
But you can in a way still.
But Joker showed you, well, at least Heath Ledger's Joker was trying to show everybody that under their sanity is an insane portion of you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Dano's Riddler is trying to show that the face that you see in front of the media is not the face behind closed doors.
Yes.
Everyone has secrets, and those secrets, no matter how small they are, they affect your life.
Yes.
And they're the ones that are truly, like, you can blame the criminals all you want, but in reality, it's the people that are meant to be protecting Gotham that are truly destroying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to like automatically destroy their faith inside of the system.
But the thing I'm saying is that at its core, the ideals are still similar. There's still some parallel. And what I feel that this series could do is give the Riddler more of an identity.
Yeah.
It's going to give him more of like a self-identity that separates, and will not allow people to make a very strong comparison now. But going back to the business aspect of it, you keep the Batman relevant for another year, but it does have a massive con, and I think it goes with how relevant can you maintain a series for a full year, especially if the story starts to flop within 2 issues. Because keep in mind, I'll even give you a relevant one. The Last Ronin, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic that came out a couple months ago. That thing was like popping for the first 2 issues, right? And then all of a sudden, the hype just immediately felt like it died down. Like no one cared.
That's because they kept pushing back all the issues and stuff like that. It was the last issue still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
it's been pushed. It was supposed to come out this month, and it got pushed back to the end of next month.
But that is the problem when you have a bi-monthly comic book, is that its longevity fades, because the only problem is because it's not a weekly comic book or anything else. You forget, unless you have a local comic book store that you happen to go into weekly, you'll probably just automatically forget, and they'll go, "Hey, the new Riddler came out," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's right, that came out this week." Like, you're not gonna be super excited for it. You're just gonna be kind of like following what the trend is of like, "Oh, I'll pick it up."
Yeah.
And everything else. It's not gonna be like the thing that I'm waiting for.
The Black Label series of DC is usually very good.
Did they already release art?
So this is the artist that's gonna be doing it, and he's a French artist.
He worked on Conan.
Yeah, this is his Conan run that he did and stuff. So I'm kind of excited to see how that Riddler series is gonna look. But yeah, this is a vibe of what the art will be like. I get the gothic aesthetic that that he's gonna be going for. So yeah, it's gonna be.
I don't have a fear that the book is not gonna look good. It's a Black Label series.
Usually
from DC, those are great. They're really well done.
Dang, his Superman's pretty sick.
Batman too.
This is Batman, yeah.
But I like the Superman. Oh
yeah, hold on. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool.
That's a dope Superman. Could you imagine that all white, like black, white on the top, and then red on his eyes? That is intimidating.
So send me a photo of those, or send me some those things. I'll include it on our YouTube video portion of the podcast. So if you guys are listening to us, head over to our YouTube channel and go to this timestamp for the podcast. You'll see the actual photos that we're actually looking at, because they're pretty good looking pieces of artwork for the Batman and stuff. Yeah, but it's interesting. But again, you still run into that. Again, I don't have a fear that this story is going to be good. It's just the relevancy of it. Is it going to stay relevant for that full year?
So they did. Also, DC has also done this for what is it? Doomsday Clock.
Okay.
Doomsday Clock was a bi-monthly. Right. But the thing was that in between each issue, they put out either a reprint or it was a director's cut and stuff like that in between those months and stuff like that.
But that's what kept it relevant.
That's the thing. And that's what they're probably going to be doing the same thing with the Riddler.
Doomsday Clock also suffer from pushbacks and stuff
like that? Pushbacks as well too, because the artist wasn't getting them done in time, and
blame the artist, right?
that's what it was. The artist came out and said, like, I can't put these out faster than they want us. That's the thing, because he was working on other stuff. That's the thing.
As long as they don't push, I don't have a fear that they're not going to get them out in time. Again, like I said, it's the relevancy, but
it's a 6-issue series.
It is.
I feel like they'll have the first 3 done.
I'm hoping to at least have the first 3 done.
Yeah.
I imagine that they're going to be also the event comics size, so it's going to be kind of like a jumbo.
Do you think they're beefy ones?
That's the prestige format. Yeah,
Yeah.
the big one, right? Yeah.
You think they'll be beefy comics?
I think there'll be beefy comics for 6 issues. That's a lot of storytelling to do in just 6 issues.
Oh man, you know
And
what?
those are like $10 a pop.
They're gonna sucker me in because remember the 3 Jokers?
All the
How many different variants they
You're
had?
gonna get different Batman variant, like the movie Batman.
I would be
variants.
totally down to just grab every single variant because I think I have all but no, I have all Batman or 3 Joker variants.
Oh, it's too bad.
Why?
Because that comic book's not that great.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
too
good.
Bad. It wasn't too bad.
It's not that great.
Okay, well that's one man's opinion, Nick. You've been wrong before, so
It's very rare.
choke on your opinions.
Very rare.
It's very
Choke on your opinion.
It's very rare. Just
Very
saying.
tame of you right now.
I'm letting out my anger in spurts. He had it coming.
I'm just saying.
He had it coming.
It's like hot water. You're like, oh, it's a little colder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, Brian. If we look at the scoreboard, Brian right, Nick wrong.
It looks like the scoreboard's out of frame.
It looks like-
Can't
that's
add
true.
anything. Oh, whoops. My bad, Nick. No. Oh, shoot. I totally forgot to add the scoreboard in post. My bad.
Damn.
I'm gonna have to whip the editor.
When he starts editing.
Well,
Get back to work.
can you relax?
No,
Are you mad?
Add
Because
my
you get my reaction.
add my scoreboard.
No, I'm not adding a scoreboard.
Add it,
Your
the
wish is
back-
my command, sir.
Back catalog.
but make it a truthful scoreboard, not a fake one.
Sure.
Oh, I think he has
Yeah,
an
he's gonna-
he's gonna do
He's gonna,
something.
yeah, I'm gonna.
Sure,
it's gonna-
totally. Yeah, no.
It's gonna put a scoreboard where it says Brian 35, Nick 1. I already know it. And that's false. Go,
I want a scoreboard with, like, Nick's
play the
face
episodes
on it.
back. Play the episode
I'm
back.
not gonna go back. You play all the episodes back.
I'm gonna, if I see that on this issue.
You're not gonna watch this.
Yes, I am. I watch it when I drive.
He was actually listening to it when he came here.
Hold
It
up.
was still playing. I can hear it. Right? You were listening to us
When?
today. Were you listening to us? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch the podcast while you drive.
Sometimes. Or during my break.
While you drive,
Yeah, I just have it on. Why?
you watch it.
Yeah,
No,
why?
I think he
Just put
listens to it.
Yeah, I was
Plays
gonna
it.
say you listen to it.
No, I put the YouTube video on and I just drive.
Just put it on the windshield. Like right there.
It's not like it's three fat guys sitting around. It's not like there are lots going on, all right? I mean, it's just it's not like if there's a lot of action going on where
We're not
where it's
very
drawing,
like-
it's not drawing my eye super like
Why are you
hard.
touching me?
It just shows that we're doing something.
Now grab his tit. Softer.
It's a marvel that you just keep talking nonsense, Nick.
It's not nonsense. It's a
It's
rock.
nonsense. Speaking of marvels, trailers.
That's such a terrible.
You give me
So
nothing. You
terrible.
give me nothing to transition.
You
with,
transition at the worst time.
Nick.
We're
Because
not
I'm trying to
finished.
get the topic so long. I'm
We're
trying
not
to
finished with
because
Paul Dano.
we are done. There's really nothing else. There's nothing, Nick. You want to give me a better transition? Give me a better transition. Go.
Oh, here we go.
Want to see it? Go for it.
We gotta keep talking. Keep talking.
Talking about what?
Give me some more Dano. Come
Like
on.
what? Paul Dano?
Yeah, give me some more. Come on.
I don't know.
And then
I just said
transition
I'm excited for this series. It's going to be a limited run. It's going to run
Yeah.
for a full year. That's great. You know, it'd be interesting if Zoe Kravitz actually made a series run, a short mini series for
Yeah.
Catwoman as well. That'd be great in between each one, but maybe make it like 2 issues. That's all I really care about. Different
Yeah.
variants for the comic book arts. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you expecting something from me?
Yes, that was a good.
I gave you like a sentence and a half.
full speech.
Well, speaking of limited series, that goes into the Moon Knight.
Take that one.
That leads you into Moon Knight. And Moon Knight is going to be coming out pretty soon. The newest trailer came out where it's Secret Agent Moon Knight. We do have his villain. They finally have an artwork of the villain that's going to be inside of it.
He hasn't been revealed in either trailer, has he?
He hasn't been shown, but they do have like images of what he looks like.
How
well costume
versed are we in Moon Knight? I'm not as much.
I just know he's a crazier Batman.
He has like
That has like
8 different
ties.
alters that Moon Knight has. Like he's has different personalities and stuff like that. The 2 main ones are obviously Mr. Knight and then Moon Knight, the warrior.
The
and
warrior,
stuff.
right?
Yeah.
So you said, okay, so he has different alter egos
Yes.
that he pops in and out of, right? It's a limited series as well. I think it said it was 6 or 8 episodes.
6 episodes.
6 episodes. That's interesting. A limited series like that.
6 episodes. I would imagine they're probably an hour and 20. If it's a 6 episode series, just because it's 6 episodes.
You want to make it a grand spectacle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. But what about it? Because like that's the thing is when Moon Knight I thought was going to be an ongoing series, but the fact that it's going to be a limited run, how impactful is this going to be to the MCU then? Not really, or yes?
I think it is, because I think that Moon Knight is leading into what was it? The Black Knight and Blade. Because they have consistently worked together in the comic books. And that is like a team. That's a major team up that does always happen. And how is it that we just introduced the Black Knight? Blade is coming, and we have Moon Knight already coming up. And Black Knight and Blade, it's already been confirmed that they've met via the Eternals. So
wait, have they?
Yeah, because Mahershala Ali is at the very end of Eternals.
Yeah. When,
Black Knight and Blade. I thought you meant Moon Knight and
no. Mahershala Ali and what was it? And Dane Whitman.
Yes,
they know. Blade and Dane Whitman know each other, because he went to go visit him when he went to go get the Ebony Blade.
So this is just going to be like a little short story of Moon Knight. Do you think he's going to be coming back relevantly, like as a relevant character in the MCU?
I think we're going to get a Netflix character in the show, because all the Netflix shows are on Disney Plus now.
So who do you think is going to pop up?
I don't know, but I feel like it's
statement, though.
But I wouldn't be surprised if that led to another TV show where it was Black Knight, Blade, and Moon
the
Knight,
Knights,
and you can
Marvel Knights,
call it the Marvel Knights. Or whatever, Marvel Hunters, or whatever it is, because I mean technically they're going after like the mystics, and they're going after vampires, and they're going after different like demons and stuff like that. You could make an entire show about that, of just like the mystics.
Yeah,
it's interesting that you kind of start to see a more diverse cast of characters and even ideas in these MCU series, because Moon Knight, when the trailer first premiered, it had a very serious tone to it. It has a very Daredevil tone. It's not going to be as violent because it's on Disney Plus and it is a Disney property.
I don't actually know if it has that Daredevil. It doesn't really have a Daredevil.
Color tones for that series. Daredevil was very dark blacks and dark reds, but in certain lightings it was a very dark yellow. It was like a mustard dark yellow.
Yeah.
And then Moon Knight shares those similar attributes. The only exception is Moon Knight, who's on full on white costume. So
it's white with black accents.
Yeah, so that's why I have a feeling that you can tell a lot from like the color palettes that certain directors use for their shows or their movies.
Who did Moon Knight? Who's doing Moon Knight?
Directing it?
Yeah, who's directing the full series of Moon Knight? While he's looking that up, though, I think that's kind of where they're going to be going with Moon Knight. I think that he may be getting another second season, depending on how the season ends, depending on how things with Khonshu work out, which is the god that gives him his abilities, with what exactly is going on with his split personalities. Because, I mean, in 6 episodes with 6 different personalities, it would be hard to kind of wrap everybody's storyline up. Because literally, that's already 6 characters that you have to deal with.
But it doesn't feel like he's getting a proper origin. It's just going to be like, here it is. Like your first episode is going to be like, your origin is done, over with. Let's move on to the main story.
I don't know if that is going to be, but we don't know that yet. We don't know what exactly happens, because it could just be we have his origin story in flashbacks.
They'll do the Boba Fett thing?
Not necessarily a Boba Fett thing. It's more of memories coming back to him. Or it's another consciousness explaining it to him of this is what happened that night.
Okay.
So these are not really well-known actors, but directors. But it looks like the same directors that are going to be doing Moon Knight are doing Moon Knight. They're also got hired on to do season 2 of Loki.
That's a good sign.
So right now, one of the top ones is Aaron Moorhead, Mohammed Diab, Jeremy Slater, and then I don't know how to pronounce this one.
Loic
Banza,
something like that. Yeah.
Those are the 4 at least top directors that they said, and they're not. Okay. They haven't put them in what
who did what.
Yeah, not yet. I think it's until the episodes air.
No,
But-
it'll probably be like a week before though when they do like, oh yeah, here's the first 2 episodes or whatever.
So while before we started the episode or the issue, you mentioned, because we watched the trailer beforehand just to kind of get a fresh idea of what was going on. You mentioned that there's early viewings of Moon Knight already.
Yeah,
the first 3 episodes.
they did a premiere already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they said it's been doing well. It's been pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's getting good reviews.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because it's always funny how, like, because I've had conversations with people where, you know, not big comic book readers, they just kind of watch the movies and the TV
It's
shows.
just a
with
casual
superheroes.
feelings.
Yeah, and they're just like, it feels so weird that Marvel and DC are using these, like, very weird, unknown characters and making big stories. I'm like, dude, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it brings relevancy to these characters that really don't have a spotlight in the comic books.
Well, not only that, but also I feel like when you have a big name like Iron Man, Captain America, stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff that you have to stick to. There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of stuff that I have to do this. So a lot of restrictions to it. Whereas if I get a character that's not as well known and not too many people kind of care about him, like he has a fan base, but he's not like super well known. I can kind of fudge his storyline a little bit.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
And I can get away with it. Yeah, you know, like Guardians, or I can change a couple of things where like no one's going to get super mad if I change this one little tiny thing because it doesn't really change anything, but it really helps my storytelling.
Moon Knight's definitely one of those characters where it was also he gets a comic book series and then it'll be good and then it'll get canceled after like the 20th issue or something like that. Or they'll wrap it up. It's basically the same thing how like Captain Marvel was for DC or Shazam. You know, like it's
more static.
He has
Static did that a lot. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like they have a fan base, but it's not a strong fan base.
It's not enough there's not enough sales to motivate the publisher to basically keep producing more of the stuff, which makes sense. Yeah,
that actually is interesting because I remember listening to an episode of Fat Man Beyond. And they were talking about, because in the New 52, Mark Bernardin was actually going to do the Static Shock comic.
Oh, really?
He got hired on to do Static after the first run. After the first, after the first storyline was ending, he wrote the ending of the storyline, and then he was going to start writing the second part.
Yeah.
And then I think he was there for like 2 weeks, and then they went, yeah, you guys got canceled. Like, the book got canceled, so close out anything else. So they just wrote a bunch of like just things to end a bunch of storylines.
That's the thing. Static gets like the short end of the stick. When
Static and Icon, any of those.
Yeah, like whenever they did a comic book, like they did Static, they like maybe like 3-4 years ago, a Static comic book series, Static Shock, but it was set in the future. And I was like, why would I want to read that? I want to read Virgil now. That's the thing.
And I know what the funny thing is, I would watch a Virgil's future if it was the Batman Beyond. Kind of Virgil Hawking.
That's the thing.
If it was that Batman, I mean, if it was that Static Shock, I'd read the hell out of that.
But he was still a teenager in the future.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and then, but I hear the new series that features that also they're called the Milestone comic books for DC. Like the new series, they're calling it just Static Season 1, and I hear that's really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're already saying that that the same thing that they want to do with. Camilla Khan, for Disney Plus, they also want to do for, HBO Max. They want to do a Static show for HBO Max.
That'd be cool. I love
and I think a Static show, and because Milestone already said Static show is in the works. We've been working on it for years. Because there's been Static TV shows that I mean movies that have been like, we're trying to get this made and everything else, but that just never falls. It always falls through.
It seems like now DC or Warner Brothers are moving forward with. They're putting more faith for Blue Beetle.
Well, Milestone in general. Milestone Comics, Blue Beetle, like these like real like, because I feel like they're going for the same thing of like for years we've been using the big three. We've been using Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman a lot, and yes, they've been making us money, but we should probably start using some lesser known.
They're doing
like,
with Marvel.
heroes.
They're looking at the other side of the fence.
They're looking at the other side of the fence and going like, "Hey, look, like you can make money off of,
diverse characters,
D-list like heroes that not many people know about, but you can make a bunch of money and everything else, and you can even make the movie kind of like low budget.
You just have to have, because that was the thing is that
Deadpool proved that. If you have the right director, the right actor, and the right cast, you can make a movie for less budget and make it for millions.
Deadpool's was Fox's, but what would you say Disney and Marvel Studios first jump into that? Because that's the thing is, I think it was Guardians, no? Because at the time you had Iron Man, you had Hulk, you had Thor, but Thor was like it wasn't that big of a hit.
I would say it was
Guardians. It was Guardians, because after Guardians, then they did like Ant-Man.
Yeah. Well, because in Guardians you had that one, and then they started bringing in those more like weirder characters. But because then you have Ant-Man, which Ant-Man has a following, but it's not super huge.
But Ant-Man is a foundation character because
Falcon?
Without I would
also Falcon.
Falcon's
not he's not a huge character.
No, he isn't.
He's more of a sidekick to Captain America.
They did the same thing with Black Widow for Iron Man too.
And Iron Man. Yeah, you have a lot of these like we're gonna sprinkle in some of these like other heroes, but I'm going to get characters that absolutely nobody knows, because the minute people said, "Hey, we're gonna make a Guardians of the Galaxy movie," a lot of people went, "Who?" Who are the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Why would you bring these
that was
characters
their
in?
first jump into
that was the
expanding.
first jump. Not only that, but also you're taking it into like the Kirby universe, where it's like, oh yeah, this is like a lot of Jack Kirby and a lot of these like real weird designs and real like ethereal looking stuff. Because that then led into Doctor Strange, that leads into everything else, and I felt like that was kind of what they were going for inside of the DC universe. Like I think that's where Snyder was kind of trying to do, but he just was unable to like
they just didn't give him the faith for it. Like I felt like with Snyder, I mean we'll go back to Moon Knight in a bit, but like with DC, it's kind of like Warner Brothers is just too scared to jump that gun. Like they don't want to.
I don't know about like Snyder's true vision, because that nightmare world that he was trying to do, I still don't get that.
Did you hear what it was?
What?
So what was it? Because they released the scripts.
Oh, really?
They released the scripts.
Okay.
So we know what part 2 and part 3 were supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
So it's supposed to be the Nightmare World. So
part 2 was the Nightmare World.
So Justice League 2 was supposed to be the we're turning everything to dust. Like we're going to see Nightmare World. We don't save Lois.
Yeah.
So the idea is that when Superman was gone, so Superman leaves, and then Batman and Lois Lane are working together to find Lex Luthor, because Lex Luthor escaped from prison.
Yeah.
Then Batman and Lois Lane are together, kind of.
Are they together?
They're together.
I thought it was Superman and Lois, and then they had a kid, and the kid becomes
Lois's son is Bruce's kid. But he doesn't know. So Lois doesn't tell Superman that she's pregnant. And then what ends up happening is that he finds out, because he tells Lois, "When were you going to tell me you were pregnant?" She goes, "How did you know?" And he goes,
X-rays.
Because I can hear the second heartbeat.
Okay.
Because he's Superman.
Superman got super hearing.
He has super hearing.
No, it's just go on.
Once again, that's actually the reason why I really like Nick Cage's thing of like him like walking down the street and then him laughing at a joke he heard 10,000 miles away. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
That's actually really
and like
good.
him laughing at it, and like people kind of looking at him going like,
funny.
What's Clark Kent laughing at? He's just like, oh, that's nice. Funny. It's so good. Yeah. But
I'm Superman.
But anyway, the idea was that it was going to be Tower of Babel. They were going to mix Tower of Babel.
So they were going to try to do almost Justice League Mortal. Like I love sometimes they do that. They get like, oh yeah, that's a script from a previous one.
Well, no, but this one was going to succeed.
Yeah,
it was going to succeed. It was going to. Well, I mean, obviously, it didn't. But the idea of it was that it was going to succeed. So basically, Aquaman was going to die. Wonder Woman was going to die. What was it? Cyborg was going to be sawed in half. Like he was going to be destroyed in half, and basically like Barry's carrying him around like C-3PO on his back. Who else? Deadshot was going to play a big role. That was like one of the other things that they were saying is like, oh yeah, like, Will Smith was going to have a bigger role as Deadshot because he's going to be a member of like Batman's team.
Yeah. And
the entire idea is they have to keep on going back and forth in time. And, so there was supposed to be a scene inside of Justice League where Barry shows up and he talks to Bruce and then it continues. The idea was that Bruce tells Barry, hey, tell me something that I would never, like, the only thing that I would trust. Because basically during that entire time, what happens is that Bruce is instructed to take care of Lois Lane. Superman knows that Darkseid shows up. Darkseid, he then goes across the planet to go deal with Darkseid. When he gets there, he finds out that it's Granny Goodness and not Darkseid. Then a boom tube opens up inside of the Batcave, and Bruce is on the top, and he sees that he's downstairs, and then he Omega beams Lois. And by the time Superman gets there, she's already like a skeleton. The thing is that Bruce is trying to protect her a lot, and then she keeps on saying it's not your kid, like it's Clark's baby. So what he tells Barry to say is, you have to tell Bruce that you have to tell me that it's my kid, that she's lying. And he ends up telling her, and then later at the end, basically Batman dies. By the end of it, they end up saving the world. Batman ends up dying. It's a couple of years later. Gotham's crime goes up. Barbara Gordon then tells Lois Lane, like, we need a Batman. And then Lois Lane tells her son, hey, your dad was Bruce Wayne. And then that's how her son becomes the new Batman.
See, I don't know how I feel about that
that's
whole
such
thing.
a
That's weird,
That's
right?
Snyder.
That's weird.
But
That's a Snyder ending.
Yeah.
Of like him
No.
becoming the new Batman, and that's how we get a younger Batman.
That's the thing. And like,
inside of the DC.
I feel like he really went out of his way to try to just do like the nightmare world and just be like, I want to just do a post-apocalyptic thing with DC characters.
And that would be to be totally honest, it's sick. It is pretty cool,
Yeah.
and also the injustice aspect of it is pretty sick, because the Superman doesn't just go crazy. It's
too weird for a live action. I
an
wouldn't.
animated movie. It would be kind of sick.
As an animated movie, sure. Why not?
I think going that route to introduce the whole DC universe right away, that's a lot.
See, I think that's where the problem lies with DC, because like, look at Marvel going back to this whole like Moon Knight.
Because-
Even still, like with, because the other trailer that came out was Miss Marvel that came out, right? So the way I see it is, and I don't care if people get mad at me for me saying this, but I'm going to say it. I feel like DC is that overachieving kid that really wants to show off to everyone that they have such an expansive, like they have so many things to show off. They're that one rich kid that, you know what?
Yeah, it's Marvel's just like,
yeah, I've got my accolades.
Like
DC
I'm
goes
universally liked in the class. Yeah. And DC's like, I want to be that. I want to be that.
I've always taken it as
Someday.
DC has
Marvel comes in. Yeah, I've done skydiving without a parachute. It's great. And DC's like, well, I could do it too, but
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I with these new TV shows, I do feel that you're going into this interesting aspect that DC is kind of seeing like an avenue with like Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Like, because Kamala Khan is interesting.
Yeah.
It's a great it so far from what we've seen from it. You've seen her get her gauntlets. You saw that you changed her powers. You see that what was it? It's kind of like the life. It's kind of like the life in the day of a teen superhero.
You posted a meme that made me laugh when he said, "Oh, she's got different powers." You're right. You're 100% right. So you're 100% right, because like I always find it so funny how I grew out of it. Hating something before it actually premieres. I'm over that. I'm 28. I'm not going to be, crying about, oh my God, they changed this, they changed that. Show me the stuff, and if I can agree with it, then I'll live with it, right? So Kamala Khan's powers in the comic books is that she's basically like elastic, right?
She can embiggen.
Yeah.
She can make things bigger or smaller.
That's it. Right? But in the trailer that premiered for Miss Marvel, we get this aspect that she has gauntlets that grant her abilities to like manipulate space or whatever
She
it is.
manipulates like matter.
Exactly, right? It's completely different. So the audience reception to this was completely negative, because they're like, how dare you?
Hey, there's a Spider-Man where that works, all right? He's a future Spider-Man, but that still happens. It's in the comics.
Yeah.
So the meme, I'm going to go ahead and post it
I'll send it to you in the chat.
I'll post it on our YouTube video, but it's basically a meme where Kamala Khan is putting on her gauntlets and people get mad at it. And the second panel is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man shooting the webs out of his wrist, which is not a canon thing. Like, it happens, like Nick said, but it's not like a the thing that everyone goes with. He always has to make his web fluids. He always have his web shooters. That's how it is.
The other thing too is that honestly, embiggening looks weird.
It's a lot. Yeah.
You ever seen the movie Zoom?
Yeah.
I'm being serious. You ever seen the movie
remember
Zoom?
that.
I
I
haven't, no.
remember that.
You ever seen the movie
No.
Zoom?
Okay,
There's a
hold
kid. There, one of the
Show me
one of
after. Show me
One
after.
one of the characters has
I'm
embiggening
gonna find
powers
it because I'm not gonna remember. I'm just
Okay.
gonna find
Yeah,
it and
yeah.
not play it though.
He has embiggening powers. And
Uh-huh.
to be totally honest, I understand it's in the 2000s. It's in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It's a Tim Allen movie, but which also I'm surprised you haven't seen it. It's a Tim Allen movie. You love Tim Allen.
I have an autograph.
Along with all of his views.
Go on. Go on. Sure.
But anyway, oh yeah, I forgot Chevy Chase is in that movie.
Chevy Chase is in. I forgot that.
I forgot
too.
Chevy Chase
And
is in that
so
movie. Anyway,
yeah.
I understand that it's early 2000s tech and it's early 2000s CGI, but it still looks weird. When,
It doesn't work on the big
it-
screen.
It doesn't work
Yeah.
on the. It works better in the comics or maybe in animation or in video games. Yes, because you can animate it so that way it looks better.
Uh-huh.
But having it on the live action, sometimes powers just don't work.
Here's the thing. It's perfectly fine to change certain aspects of character. I don't know how much Moon Knight is safe because I feel like not a lot of people understand Moon Knight's true traits.
Yeah.
It's a safe character to kind of go off the
Right,
rails and say
right.
whatever you want, right?
I mean, not only that, but also it's like all about like, Egyptian power. And
Yeah. And
Khonshu and like this like demon that gives him abilities. It's wacky.
yeah, it is. It
I
is.
think it's like a god or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he basically becomes like the god of death.
Yeah.
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 So Miss Marvel, if you guys don't know, she is Kamala Khan, who is what's your ethnicity?
She
Pakistani.
is
Pakistani, right? Okay, so she's
an Inhuman.
Is she an Inhuman?
That's how she got
That's
her powers.
in the
From-
comics. She's
yeah.
an Inhuman.
Okay.
because she gets it from
She-
Terrigen Mist.
Yeah, she's clarified as an inhuman. Yeah.
She's a 21st century creation too, right? Like she was created in the early 2000s.
yeah,
Yeah,
She was
I
created-
remember.
she was created pretty recently.
Yeah, she's not that old in the comic book world for Marvel, and she was well received too. I feel
she's
like
she's a very popular character.
Yeah.
When the first issue of Miss Marvel came out, it went through like 7th printing of issue 1.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it was still a very rare comic book to get, even in its 7th printing. and
So
stuff.
it's a very popular character.
yes.
She was,
Meaning,
even, she was even your main character in the Avengers game.
yeah,
Like she was how exactly you were introduced to the Avengers inside of that game. So yeah, she's a very popular character.
yeah. So there is an understanding as to why people may be a little bit sensitive that her powers don't match her comic book powers. But here's the thing: when you think of the MCU, people need to get over the fact that the MCU will go off the rails because it's done so with some of the popular
That's
characters.
the thing. Yes.
We just had No Way Home kill off Aunt May, which is something that we never got accustomed to unless you played the Spider-Man video game.
So here's my what about if in the show she uses the gauntlets and the gauntlets give her special abilities.
Uh-huh.
Then the gauntlets are destroyed by the end of it, leaving her in a mist. She then absorbs those powers, and then by the end of it, that's when you get the Kamala Khan we know.
It could
It could
that
be
could
it,
be a
yeah.
possibility.
And that's how you get her embiggening powers. She
Yeah.
loses all the other abilities, but
'Cause-
she still has I can make my hands big and stuff like that, or my I grow tall and whatever. And I think that would be kind of interesting, and it's like a nice little like way of, because technically they have Inhumans. They can make Inhumans a thing again. We've done Inhumans already in Shield. Because Quake is an Inhuman, and she was a main character in Shield, and like the Inhumans and all that stuff. That was a huge, huge part of Shield.
How did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. end? They did something where it was like a separate universe or something like that?
Time travel.
Time travel. That's what it was.
Yeah, they went to the future. Then when they went to the future, they changed time, and then when they came back, they came back to an alternate time period, and that time period. Then what was it? Then you find out the Kree were going back in time, and they were trying to kill off and destroy Shield, and then at the very end of it, they end up thwarting the plan, and they come back to the present day, and then you have Shield.
Is it on Disney? It's not on Disney Plus, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's okay. Cool. I'll probably sit through
It's
it.
like
just to-
seven. It's like 7 seasons.
That's fine. I'll
7 seasons, 24 episodes each. Enjoy.
Nope.
sure. Oh, maybe.
Don't say sure because you're gonna have.
You're not gonna do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm saying right now, I'm not doing that. I watched the first season. It was good, and then
Oh, you went after you
Yeah.
went one season.
I did one
2.
season.
I think I did 2.
Yeah.
You finished it.
You finished it?
Yeah, I watched the entire
Okay,
thing.
now I have to watch it. I can't have Nick be the only one.
Oh my god.
It's
I
not-
can't.
I mean, I'm the only one on a lot of shows.
I don't
that you
need to know
watch.
a lot of things. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how you have. How do you people have all this time? Because you're not the only person I know who's like. Because I have another friend.
I watch
who's
TV while I drive. That's the only
How do you? You can't do that.
You can't do.
Says
you
who?
can't.
A little
The
bit-
law.
A little bit of
The law-
Bryan came
what-
out.
What law?
Oh.
I am the law.
I am the law.
What are you talking about?
Nick, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is. How do you think?
That's how driving works
I think
safely, at least.
How do you think I got through Buffy?
Oh god.
Oh my god, dude!
I finished Buffy that way. I finished Angel that way.
I watch TV while I drive. What the? How is that? No.
I watch TV while I drive.
You know,
I am
That was actually a good
the
thing.
cage.
I'm not gonna lie. I am really excited for that Nicolas Cage
with
movie
Pedro
with him and
Pascal?
Pedro Pascal, because I feel like that's gonna be
What was that movie?
hilarious.
Oh man, I
It's
forgot.
what was it?
I'll look it up.
The movie is Pedro Pascal is a millionaire that pays Nicolas Cage
just
to
look
come
up
to his
Pedro.
birthday party.
Oh.
And then it ends up finding out that he's like an international drug dealer. And then the government hires Nicolas Cage to take him out.
Dude, is
And they
Nicolas
become
Cage married?
and they become best friends. Yeah, I think so.
he is.
Yeah, why?
Because that
his
guy
kids
has
too.
released like 4 movies in the last like 2 years.
He needs money.
What's
Yeah, he's like in major debt. Like that's why.
What?
Yeah, he's been in
He
major
was, well,
debt.
no, he's out now.
He's out now, but I mean, like that was why
yeah.
his career was kind of like janky for a while, where it just kind of seemed like Nicolas Cage was like in everything.
was he in debt? He
Uh,
just made
Oh,
bad
he's
choices.
just made bad money decisions.
he spent like
investing it.
$5 million on Superman #1.
Yep.
When he didn't have $5 million.
Oh, okay. It's the unbearable weight of massive talent. That's what it's called.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The unbearable weight of massive talent?
Yep.
That's hilarious. So basically, Pedro Pascal is a millionaire who is the biggest Nick Cage fanboy and has bought
Oh, it's
everything.
April 22nd. We gotta watch this.
Yeah, that movie looks
Yeah.
hilarious. Because I feel like it's the perfect amount of Pedro Pascal and perfect amount of obnoxious Nicolas Cage.
I think I've told you guys that like when he goes on movies, they tell him like they go, "Hey, yeah, Nick, can you like?" So you want me to go full Cage?
Yeah.
they're like, yeah.
I want. If I ever were to work with Nicolas Cage, I'd be like, dude, crank it.
Look, with the amount of stuff that he does.
dude, I want
There's-
face-off energy. I want face-off energy. I
with
want
the amount of stuff
touching
that
a
he
nun's
does.
butt.
Yeah.
With the amount of stuff that he does, you really think that if we send him an email and be like, hey, we want to work with you on a short skit, you think he'd just show up?
I think.
No,
Come
I
on.
mean, like,
no, he's
if-
bro. He's
We
hurt-
would
he's
have to
hurting.
have a following to do that.
We would
I
have to
think.
pay him.
Yeah.
We'll pay you.
There would have to be a
We'll
paycheck.
pay you a large Little Caesars pizza.
He can get himself a Little Caesars pizza
He's in
and
debt.
not have to meet us.
You know what? It was all those times trying to steal the Declaration of Independence, man.
Well, what's funny about this movie is that it's basically in real life how Nick says like he is in debt, so he does try to.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point, that he is in debt and he's trying to make money. So
And
he
How
goes.
much is he in debt that he,
he was
has
in
to constantly
he was in
make
debt for
movies?
millions.
Yeah.
He was in debt for millions.
That's
like
why
he owed
that-
the IRS a bunch of money.
That's why for like 5 years straight, we see Nick Cage movies in random movies.
Where he was just doing movie after movie
Yeah.
after movie, and they were all garbage.
Don't you remember like you're scrolling through like Netflix or Hulu and you just see Nick Cage in like The Submarine or like
yeah, and you're like, why was he in this movie? It's
Yeah.
like because he needed the money.
and or it was I think
like-
he did a Left Behind movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. That
Can we pull up his filmography
Oh,
afterwards?
Oh, you want to see some gold right here? you want to see a masterpiece of like a filmography? That's what you look at Nick Cage for.
So while Rene looks up the
loading
filmography,
up all of his
Yeah, well, we-
it's so slow because it's loading up all of his movies. I'm like,
Hold on, just look at the number. Just look at the number because usually it has it on the filmography. How many films?
actor 109 credits.
Oh,
That's a lot of credits,
my
dude. That's a lot for an
God,
actor
dude.
Mhm.
who's been working since the 80s. That's a lot of credits.
That's including maybe 4 he's already working on right now.
Oh, he's on the Croods. I thought that said Creed 2. And I'm just like, he's in Creed 2? What?
dude.
Michael B. Jordan?
Dude, that's the only way that movie would have been even better.
Mm-hmm. Like, watch. Let me just scroll, and I'll just like randomly say The Frozen Ground. He did a movie called The Frozen Ground. Oh, I forgot. He was the voice in Croods. He was
Yeah,
the dad.
that's why I was like,
Yeah,
I
he
Creed
is-
forgot.
two.
He is one of the voices in Croods.
There was one called Rage.
I've seen Rage.
There's
Rage
one-
is.
I wonder if Nick Cage is a
have you
nice
seen-
guy
have you
or
seen-
he's
have
kind
you
of
seen
an
Rage?
asshole.
No, I haven't seen Rage.
Rage is about what was it? Nick Cage and so it's Nick Cage and his wife are what was it? They're there, and then like this sound goes off that puts all the parents to kill their children. So you just see Nick Cage screaming with like an axe, chasing his children down a hallway, trying to murder him.
Oh no, I've seen that. Okay, yeah,
He was in
that.
It's a horror film. He is in G-Force. Yes, he was one of the hamsters.
I just read a title that made me laugh. It was what is it? Bangkok Dangerous.
It's actually not a bad movie. That's pretty.
Bangkok Dangerous. I forgot he was the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
He is in the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
That was a good one.
This guy, dude.
Season of the Witch.
Is he a nice guy?
I don't know.
No, you know what? He's actually a bit of a dork. Like I've seen him in interviews now. He's wearing a plaid shirt during the premiere of one movie that he's doing. I think it's for the Pedro Pascal one. And he's like, "Yeah, I decided to wear a plaid shirt. I went in and like no one else has a plaid shirt." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll have one." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Because he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is a guy who thought that Clark Kent should wear like a Mickey Mouse shirt.
Oh yeah.
With like a suit jacket and like discolored like suit pants.
Oh my!
Because he was like, this is because his theory was this is how Superman or Clark Kent thinks humans dress. Like
there's a movie called Joe. Yeah. See, Left Behind, Dying of the Light, The Runner.
This is great.
Pay the Ghost. I don't know what is about. Hold on, let's click on that.
That's a prostitute.
So we got to wrap up the Moon Knight and Miss Marvel talk because we do
a
want to talk about
a professor frankly searches for his son who has been abducted during a Halloween carnival.
Why is it?
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that.
Frontman Nicolas Cage in Pay the Ghost.
It's on Prime.
I am in Paying the Ghost.
It's on Prime.
So let's go ahead and wrap up the talk of Miss Marvel and Moon Knight because we do want to talk about one more trailer that premiered.
I think that Miss Marvel and Moon Knight they're both going to be interesting. It's interesting too to kind of see like the two different tones that they're both having.
The demographics are different.
Yes, because Moon Knight looks like it's more of like, oh yeah, this is a darker tone, and Miss Marvel is kind of like that. It's taking that Riverdale tween.
It's a younger demographic.
Yeah,
it's more aiming for teens. That's what they're trying to grab in.
I feel like teen to tween. Like it's teen to tweens that they're going to try and grab.
Like I said, like my niece, she's 10. I think she's gonna be 11 this year. That's something that she would get into.
Which it's a difficult look. This isn't to say I'm not saying this to basically say, oh, they're aiming at the wrong demographic. No. It's gonna be difficult because if this movie has a big impact in the MCU, people are gonna have to bear through this and go like,
But here's the thing, though. I think bearing through and then also having a different demographic are two different things. Yes, it is aimed towards tweens and teens, but that doesn't mean that it's bad.
No.
Like Encanto isn't necessarily meant for adults. It's meant for kids to, learn certain things. So is Luca and all these other things. Adults can still enjoy them.
Yeah.
And it's still entertaining and it still has like life.
But is it going to be entertaining enough? And I don't think that either. I think Moon Knight will have more of an impact than Miss Marvel because Miss Marvel will lead into the Marvels.
Yeah. Totally
understandable. But I think it's going to have that same impact that you kind of have with Boba Fett, where it's like, it's an impact.
I'm watching it just because it's part of this universe.
Exactly. And maybe at the end
just to see where it's going.
Yeah. Not only that, but also especially if this does lead into the Marvels, how exactly does it lead there?
Yeah.
Because that's the reason why I'm assuming that Kamala Khan is going to gain because it's changing her atoms. By the end of it, she is going to have these like photon / Captain Marvel kind of like powers.
Yeah, we're gonna
do a quick little cut right here, guys.
Little quick cut. We'll be right back because we're having some technical difficulties.
And now, our feature presentation.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Another little technical difficulty. I don't know what's going on with this camera, man.
I don't know why this newer camera keeps on messing up.
Like it needs to maintain that 24 FPS.
I have no idea.
Nick, talk to your phone afterwards.
Stop messing up.
Stop ruining it.
You're not pulling your weight, right?
At the end of every podcast, when we're all gone, Nick goes home. He talks to us. Hey, good job for making Brian's life miserable. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
No, how dare you not run at 24 frames? Good job.
And then I look at it and I go like, oh, you know what? You earned it tonight. No porn for you. I'm not gonna look porn up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my computer.
You earned it.
You earned
it.
You know what?
Would you be more excited for that, or are you more excited for the Boys trailer, Nick?
It's like porn.
There was like a millisecond of sex in the
Yeah. I mean,
which I'm so laughing at that they got away with because like
that's why I thought it was a Red Band trailer.
Yeah,
honestly,
it
that's
wasn't.
why I thought it was
No.
a Red Band trailer.
I guess there's like a time duration that you have to like.
There's like literal people exploding.
Yeah.
How is it not a Red Band
There's
trailer?
an explosion.
Again,
There's a
it's
neck
timing.
breaking
I think
in the
it's
back.
timing.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
it is?
I think it is because they would.
There's so much
that
blood.
should have been a Red Band trailer, like you said. That should have been a Red Band trailer.
There's so much blood, and there's a second of sex in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they can get away with.
Jesus, man.
I think you might be right because I think it's like specific, like a viscera. Like if you were to see like brain matter or something like that, you would definitely.
No,
but like
as
just
soon as
seeing-
the pops,
it
red
cuts, and then it cuts.
Yeah,
I can't wait for a couple of these episodes because they look insane.
we see like
They
maybe like
do
a
look
thrust and
insane.
a half.
Yeah.
We see the dude's face, the
Yeah.
girl's face, and done.
Well, you saw who it was, right?
No.
It was It
was the director?
It was the director of the Seven movie of Unite the Seven,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
and what was it? And
the head lady
the
now.
secretary,
Yeah.
the head secretary.
The redhead chick, the one that takes over.
The one that was losing her hair?
Oh, that's right.
That's who was having sex in the stall.
Dude, I haven't seen. I feel like
You
I
should
need to
rewatch
rewatch
The
the
Boys.
series. Yeah,
I did, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
I've seen
just
it,
to kind
I've
of
seen
get
it-
a
I've
hold
seen-
of like what season
I've
3 is
seen
gonna
it a
be
couple
like.
times. It's pretty good.
Yeah, while you're driving. Good job, Nick.
I do. Once if I see it once, I can put it in the background. And
Oh
drive.
my god, dude! So issue
not that hard.
Exhibit A, issue 89 as to why Nick should be canceled on Twitter. Issue 90, the reason as to why Nick should have his license removed. You're putting out there that energy, Nick. This is evidence for people to use.
It's there's only so many hours in a day.
That's-
I
Yes,
have to
that's
get,
true.
I have
yeah.
to get things done. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's true. That's how, dude. I had.
I have.
I mean, how long do
I
you
have
drive though?
how,
least
how long
about
does
an
your
hour,
life?
hour and a half?
Hour and a half. Okay.
It's like an episode. Of The Boys, it's like an episode.
Getting there and then coming back. That's like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You have to drive an hour and a half to work.
Coming home because of
Oh,
traffic.
traffic.
Oh, okay.
Coming home, going to work is like probably like 20.
Dude, I don't know, man. I listen to podcasts and stuff. That's all I do on the drive.
The reason I don't listen to podcasts as much is I need something visually stimulating.
The road.
No, it's boring to me. No, the road is boring to me. I've noticed that. I'll start dozing off, especially if it's like a long day. Like I need something else that's like visually stimulating, like that I can just like kind of like
So
glance
just
at.
kind of like just stand,
Your
like, in
life is
traffic.
not visually
He's, like, in
stimulating?
traffic, and he's like,
No, because like sometimes you're just stuck. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you're just like your foot's on the brake and you're not doing anything.
Oh,
And
in
you're just-
traffic.
and you're just
Yeah.
like kind of like sitting there.
Yeah.
And you're not doing anything. And
This
you're
is
ki- and you're-
great.
And you're a little tired, and you're just kind of going like.
This is great testimony for the cops when they do decide to pull you over.
I actually have been pulled over for that before.
Oh my
Uh,
God,
man.
Nick!
I have, and I got let go, in which that was great because
because what?
So I got let go because I went to. All right, I was at a strip club, but I was at a strip club, and then as I was leaving, I may have had like two or three drinks, and so I put on a Austin Evans. What was it like unboxing? It was like I think it was like a Wishtree Tech,
Yeah.
and I was watching the episode instead of on the road, and I started merging into the other lane. And then the cop pulled me over, and mind you, this is like 3:00 in the morning. So then when the cop pulled me over, he was like, "Hey, I noticed that you were merging into the other lane. Is it because you were watching something?" Because he could see it, because you can see it from the back window. Like if you're
Yeah.
following me, you can see like I'm watching something.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a video playing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, honestly, officer, I just got back from Disneyland because that was the day I went to go make my lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, honestly, officer, I'm coming back from Disneyland. I just had dinner. We spent a little bit of time in downtown Disney because I'm not going to tell a cop I was at a strip club because that's unexcusable. And then his partner puts his flashlight through my side, through my passenger window, and he can see Disney bags with like a lightsaber coming out of it, and like it had like a Disney sweater and stuff like that. And like I'm almost positive he looked at his partner and he goes, "He's a nerd. He's fine."
Yeah.
Just send him on his
fanboy.
yeah. And it was like 3:00 in the morning, so like I was just like I put the video on to keep me awake because I was trying to fall asleep, and the cop was like, "All right, that makes sense. Cool, go ahead," and he just let me go.
Moral of the story, kids, ladies and gentlemen, don't do these things on a daily basis. Don't do what Nick does. Let Nick be Nick.
Be a winner.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No.
No.
Renee and I don't advocate for this garbage, right? No, just don't. No.
I'm not saying that it's right.
It isn't.
Clearly.
I'm not saying do as I do. I'm saying, do as I say, not as I do.
God, don't do it.
Just don't. Just seal of approval and keep it up with the nerds. Don't do this. Don't do what Nick does.
Just drink coffee.
But then I can't go to sleep at night when I get home.
Then play video games. You have Elden
Take
Ring.
some melatonin. Cancel it out.
He's just gonna be in his sleep.
Because then I'm fighting to stay awake. It's not fair. Like, it's one of those things of like, my body wants to go to sleep.
I don't want to go to sleep, but I also don't want to stay awake.
I'm so sleep. No.
Yeah, man. You ever had that struggle?
Yes.
No. I go to sleep.
No.
I'm like, oh, I'm tired.
You've never been like out partying and then you're like, dang man, I need to go to sleep, but also the party's really good. No. And then you're kind of like just like dozing off, going.
Yeah, when I was like early 20s.
The only time I've gone out is with
Rage
you guys.
on, man. Let's go.
Good job. That's exactly what our listeners want to hear.
Yeah, me banging the mic.
Okay.
I'll bang that mic.
The boys.
The boys.
The boys.
Speaking
much
of banging,
like banging.
Speaking of banging.
Boys.
So what did the trailer show off that...
This one's another crazy season, honestly.
So what exactly we know? It's
nothing.
One of the biggest things is that the boys looks like they're obtaining
have
powers now.
Not only that, but also it looks like they're definitely more well funded.
Yes.
They're definitely better funded. The team comes back together. Yeah. I'm assuming Huey finds out about the senator early in the season. Because why else would he come back?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the only thing I can think of, because why else would Huey come back when he already left? You also have Homelander, who is just nuts. So I figure he is doing a lot of like overseas work. He also has that's supposed to be like a MAGA rally that he's at. That rally that he's dropping in on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the creators already, one of the writers already confirmed we did it in like regards to like a MAGA rally.
Okay.
Where he's like talking,
like a Make America Great Again.
Yeah,
because he is reaching out to that demographic.
So he's very much reaching out to that demographic. Yeah. That was kind of what was going on with him and Stormfront last year, where he was getting a lot of like these like radical racists that were like willing to follow him, very Nazi-esque, because Stormfront is a Nazi.
Greatest thing ever, dude.
Yeah, that she has pictures of her hanging out with Hitler, which is bad. Also, if I was
memories.
also, if I was that actress, I'd be like, dang, there is literally somebody who had to make a picture of me hanging out with
50
Hitler.
years from now, if this photo gets taken out of context, I'm in some deep trouble.
You're a time traveler and you love Hitler.
What I love now is from the
You're a time traveler and you love Hitler.
It was kind of on the same note that I was talking when we went to Guildhall yesterday, how the end of Kingsman idolizes, or doesn't idolize, but they make Hitler feel like the Grand
like the next Thanos.
Get excited, ladies and gentlemen. Hitler's coming back.
I would have loved. I think I would have loved Kingsman.
I'll do it to myself.
I swear to God, if that would have happened,
that's basically what he does at the end of the series.
If that would have happened at the end of Kingsman, of Hitler going, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and then he goes off, and you see him leaving Austria to like take over World War II.
I will convince Germany.
They did it in just a longer format, because essentially they said, look, these guys couldn't do it. The Tsars couldn't do it. We have someone else to do it. May I present to you Hitler?
You've never seen The Producers, right?
No.
Like any form of The Producers.
No.
Every single time I ever think of like Hitler, I always think of The Producers. Because the show that they make is called Springtime for Hitler.
Oh my God.
I have to watch that.
And it's the entire show is like just basically a love letter to Hitler. And
what the heck?
and it's hilarious.
I mean, Taika Waititi made Hitler like all
an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So did Mel Brooks, and Mel Brooks did it before it was funny.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of like the greatest things in the world. Like see like all these people. You also see Ron Barrowman. I mean not Ron Barrowman. John Barrowman, the guy in Arrow who played the Dark Archer. He's like one of like the main Nazis inside of it. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
Will Ferrell is a Nazi sympathizer.
Oh my god. It's because
it's amazing.
Did we find out that Stormfront was a Nazi?
Yes.
Not until the end, right?
It's implied early on in the season.
But the connection wasn't made until kind of like 2 episodes before it was over.
She spoke German. That was like one of the things, and she didn't like what was it like
A-Train.
She didn't like A-Train. Like
they also found a photo, but they didn't realize, or they
it was
found
a
someone
former,
of
yeah.
her.
It was supposed she was a old photo of her of a former superhero, but it was mostly a superhero that was developed by the Klan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of different things about that, but so we do know that he's going to be kind of more of like a right
wing,
very right wing, very like he's putting his own beliefs.
Basically, he's only appealing to the people that only love him.
He wants to be loved. Yeah.
Not only that, but also he's still doing military. So the Seven are doing military work because they got the contract via the military.
Yeah.
So we know that they're going to be doing that. We have that senator storyline that definitely has to go through.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's my thing, because when
we also have Soldier Boy,
yes,
who's going to be showing up, which I'm very interested to see what role he's going to play.
Yeah,
because it looks like he's been on ice in like a lab somewhere. That's what the last shot of the trailer kind of shows you. Is that
so? Before we started recording, we watched the trailer like we did with the other ones.
Yeah,
and I said, it was like, because you guys were weirded out by it, that this trailer doesn't show much unless you know either the context of the show from the previous 2 seasons,
yes,
or you're knowledgeable about where the story might be headed because you've read the books or know about the comic books, right? So I personally enjoyed the trailer, but I wasn't a big fan of the trailer because I felt like there wasn't much story or things to look forward to based on that trailer. You had the banging scene, you had bodies exploding, you had necks cracking, you had Homelander.
Oh, you did
and,
have the little tiny dude that was shown in the first season.
Which one?
The guy that jumped
jumped inside the woman.
Yeah, he jumped into the woman.
Oh yeah.
You see him exploding out of a person.
Yeah.
He embiggens while he's inside of somebody, and then like that person explodes around them.
That's right. And then what's his name? Carl Urban's character.
Oh, but Billy the Butcher.
Billy Butcher.
So he gets his powers.
Yeah.
Or he gets because he took the
Compound V
So-
or
Compound
something. We don't know if
Yeah.
it was exactly, because it looks like he's having a different reaction.
But
to
that's
it.
like the big point of it. It
Yeah.
starts and it ends with it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to get across that Billy the Butcher has powers now, and it's leading up to the a fight
Between
that
Homelander
and him.
But the thing is that I do like about that is I think it'd be interesting because I was telling him because we were talking about like it looks like it's not coping with Billy. Like it's just not coping.
He's
with
not
him.
control. He's not able to control.
He's not able to control it. It looks like his powers are just going off. You see him vomiting on Huey. You see like he's not totally himself.
But didn't they explain that in season 2 when they found out that they were using Compound V on babies because that allows them to have their
Age
bodies
with it.
more adaptable?
Yeah, that's what Nick was saying.
That's what we were talking about. Is that like your body is able to grow with the powers, and then your body basically, it's evolution. Because you can run fast, your bones get stronger or whatever it is. So that way, like to compensate for said powers and abilities that your body now has. It's very Izuku Midoriya esque. If you will, of like, he was given his powers at a late age and now he doesn't know how to control them and his body is unequipped to handle them.
Sure.
So I think so. This whole season.
Shut up! You know exactly what I'm talking about. You dirty weeb. Don't.
But basically, this
Don't
season.
give me that side eye. Like you don't know what I'm talking about. How dare you?
You weeb.
You closet weeb. At least why don't you come out of the closet?
Not because I'm not a weeb. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
So
lock
basically,
you in
this
that
whole
closet.
season is them adapting to their powers.
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna get like any of the boys fighting Homelander, maybe Soldier Boy. Maybe they'll fight Soldier Boy.
You have to, because they're making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is that I would be very interesting, because that's the thing though, is that I think if you have Soldier Boy, I would love it if Soldier Boy was like this figure that is supposed to reestablish the Seven.
Yeah.
He's supposed to take control over the Seven. He's supposed to be the new leader. After Homelander has kind of like tarnished his reputation now. And they're bringing back Soldier Boy because, you know, we need that.
He was a beloved superhero.
It looks like he was a singer at one point. It looks like he had like a lot of like propaganda. You know, he fought in multiple wars. He's kind of like the hero that we bring out whenever there's like trouble. I would love the idea of Soldier Boy being, because he is supposed to have PTSD. He's supposed to be an alcoholic. He's supposed to love drugs and stuff like that.
Because he's actually been around in the 1940s.
Yeah,
he's been around since, you know, like the very first World War, and he's fought in every single war since then. And you know,
and he still has that mentality.
So he doesn't care.
Yeah,
and he doesn't.
What if Captain America went wrong?
Basically.
Well, no, it's what would happen if Captain America, because his costume even looks like Captain America, which I love.
I love that.
I love the fact that they just basically got Captain America and they were just like, put more America in
and make it green.
Put more America and make it a little green and make it a little bit green. But yeah, I think that's going to be kind of interesting. Because I don't want to have another hero come in and they're like the villain of the season.
The villain, yeah. It seems like that's what they're leaning towards, unfortunately, in my opinion. I think that's what they're doing.
Do you think Soldier Boy is going to be?
I don't know. So if he does die in this season, or in the new season, that's basically the formula now. If that confirms that, okay, each season we're going to introduce a character that's going to be played by a well-known actor,
and there were one season done.
And they're just a one and done season.
But I don't want that.
No, neither do I.
I want Soldier Boy's character to live on. I want him to have a little more depth.
Stormfront didn't die. She just got.
Technically, no. Yeah,
she's technically
not
like
dead.
Heavily destroyed. Like she's like in a coma.
She's probably in a VOT tower.
She's in a VOT psych ward.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Because they deemed her insane after she like murdered a bunch of people. Remember?
Yeah. Or maybe the same thing will happen to Soldier Boy. Maybe
I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he is.
Yeah.
If he is like in like, I want him to wake up very Winter Soldier-esque. Yeah. And then immediately go get a beer. Like,
and there's a scene. There's honestly, and they're doing it from the comic books where he goes to a mansion. And then there's like an orgy and stuff like that. Yeah. And they said, and then Jensen Ackles was like, when he read that in the script, he's like, what? And he's all, okay.
So to kind of wrap up this issue before we hit the hour 30, because
it's also Jensen
so
Ackles,
the boys.
So I just want to see Jensen Ackles do more things.
I don't think I watched The Boys until season 2 was announced.
Really?
I was one of those late starters.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because we were talking about because I was watching it and I watched.
I remember I watched it when it aired. Man, that was a great show.
Here was the thing, because when you tried to sell The Boys to me, I thought it was very like obscure and weird. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna get into this kind of crap. This is like too much.
Yeah.
Then I watched it and I'm like, wait, there's actually like a good story and there's a good formula to this. It works. You've got a good cast. You've got a good like plot development.
The one thing I do like about The Boys is that it's like Umbrella Academy, where they have an odd story that's like as the base. Like the original comics are a little weird. They're kind of odd. They're good, but like they're a little extreme. They go over the top a lot.
So how would you sell?
And they've really tamed it out for the show.
Sure, yeah.
No, hold on. The show compared to the comics?
No, I could imagine.
Like night and day.
No,
like complete night and day.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it, because I know comic books tend to have more freedom in what they could show. How would you sell for any newcomers that are wanting to maybe consider watching The Boys, but then are kind of turned off by the season 3 trailer because it's kind of weird?
Imagine, if anybody has ever seen the episode of the Justice League of the Justice Lords.
Animated Justice League?
Yeah, the animated Justice League, and it was the episode of the Justice Lords where it was an alternate universe where you met the Justice League and they were basically just dicks. Imagine that, but the world still thinks that they're heroes. But behind the scenes, they are the Justice Lords. They're more concerned about making money. They're more concerned about, what are our profit margins? How well are we selling, products? It's very much a capitalistic version of hero society.
Yeah.
And it's one company that's taking it over, and it's a band of normal people that know that they're bad, that the heroes are actually the villains, and they're trying to take them down by any means necessary.
Okay. I mean, you kind of sold it. I think that's kind of how you explained it to me, Rene, when you were trying to convince me to watch it. But I think you said, imagine the Justice League, but they're corrupt and no one knows it. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll watch it. And I was like, all right, it's a good.
Rene, give me your pitch. What's your pitch?
Basically, it's like if you give well-known celebrities superpowers. And you just follow what's happening, but the thing is that like they're always getting into controversy. But the thing is that the company or their brands or whatever are trying to cover it up. Yeah, they're trying to make them look presentable when really they don't know what they're doing.
Who's the speedster?
A-Train. Which
A-Train.
one? There's two.
Oh yeah, there's Shockwave and A-Train.
Shockwave and A-Train.
That's
Remember?
right.
What was it? Because A-Train is still dealing with his Compound V addiction. And Shockwave almost beat him inside of their 2-second race that was like 1,000 laps.
Yeah,
in like 5 seconds.
My favorite scene or favorite part in the series, well, maybe not, shouldn't say that, but in season 2 at least, is when they have a Daredevil character. And they're presenting the Daredevil character to Homelander.
And he just murders him.
And then like Homelander's like, "Oh, that's amazing! You could tell it's me." He goes, "Yeah, I can." He goes, "Well, can I ask you a question?" He's like, "Yeah, well, what if I decided to do this?" And just pops his eardrums.
Oh, that's right.
And he's just like, ah!
He's like, ah! And he's like, "Oh, are you still super?" And then he's like on the floor and his ears are bleeding because he popped his eardrums. And he goes, "You got me a blind guy to be on the 7?
Yeah.
What are you, dumb?" And then he like walked out and the guy's like on the floor.
Yeah, right. That was such a that caught me off.
Because that actor's so great. He just plays it off so
He's also in jail.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in an Australian jail right now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, the Daredevil character?
No. Anthony
Homelander.
Starr, yeah.
Yeah, Homelander. He assaulted a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
He
So we're not
assaulted
getting
a
a
ball.
season 4?
No, it's only 6 months.
Yeah.
It's 6 months in a Spanish
Season
jail.
3's already done, and so they just wait. They take a whole year to film and stuff.
Listen,
like that.
celebrities, get your act together. Stop.
Plus,
messing
it's
stuff your life.
Australia. They're really
he assaulted.
Just another normal day.
Was it in Australia or in Spain?
Ooh, let me see.
Where Anthony Starr beat up a bartender.
Not that we're agreeing with it and saying it's good. It's just don't be an asshole, but also like stop so we can keep getting more of this.
Maybe he's too Homelander now. He's had the role too long.
Boys,
He's too Homelander.
He's too addicted to
He's
it.
too method.
He's way too method. He's like, "Do you know who I am? I'm Homelander." And then he's just like trying to pop his eardrums.
What?
So it got up to a year in prison.
I remember reading it was 6 months.
Spain.
It was so I was right.
Yeah.
It was a Spanish. It was Spain. Yeah, he beat up a bartender, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's see. Hold on.
I don't know what the
Guess 1
entire
year,
story is, but
So I saw a bunch of I saw actors like Heath Ledger who took
he's New Zealand.
Yeah, he's from New
he's from New Zealand.
He's a Kiwi.
Well, that Kiwi turned into a bat real quick. Like,
I think that's
because apparently he beat up that bartender pretty well, enough to get a year in jail.
Yeah.
Oh my God! What did he do that he got beaten?
Assaulted a chef in Spain. Oh, it was a chef.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Can I speak to the chef, please?
Just punches him in the face.
He just takes. Can I speak to the chef?
So
You
when
give me this trash.
I'm Homelander.
Homelander. Then he starts going. What's happening? I'm trying to use my laser vision.
The only thing is that when he walks outside and he just starts jerking it in the middle of the street, and he's just like,
I can do whatever I want.
Oh my God, dude!
That also is one hell of a way to end a season.
That's true.
That is a hell of
He's
a
on
way
top
to
of
end
a
it.
building and he just sees.
No, he's just flying in the air. He's not even on a building.
No, he's standing on a building.
Is he standing on?
That's how season 2 ends, huh?
Yeah, where he's
And
just
Pants
masturbating
to his
it.
ankles.
Yeah, pants to his ankles, and he's just
You
whipping
see
it
him
out.
finish.
Yeah,
something comes out. You see it in the far distance.
in the far distance, you see it come out, and then it lands, and then it goes down.
Yeah.
Like, there are people under him. He came on someone.
No, if it was from him, it's like bullets.
He's just murdering people.
Just the weight
Coming down like guns, just like.
Like a cat. Like.
Oh, also, do you think he's having sex with that cow?
Oh yeah, you see, there's a part where he's
Where he's
milking
like-
the cow.
where he's like
no, he just
sensually-
has a milk fetish.
Where he's
honestly.
sensually milking the cow?
doesn't he have
Yeah.
a mommy fetish thing?
It's like a
was.
mommy or milk fetish.
It's like a
yeah,
milk
Yeah.
and mommy fetish because he keeps on like drinking.
Hey, good job,
milk
guys,
weed.
trying to sell the show to people who haven't watched it yet. This is by far the weirdest show.
It's a solid.
Good show. Good show. Good, great
It's
show.
just,
Great show.
It just shows that Homelander is just an amazing.
Look, we
character
just-
to watch on that show.
Yeah, just the summary-
Unfortunately, the actor just took it too far.
Yeah.
Don't beat up your chefs in Spain.
And don't watch movies and TV shows while driving. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up issue 90.
unless you have other things to do.
No, we don't. No, we're not. No.
No,
You're
remember,
done. Nick, you're
wait
in your
until you get
bubble.
home.
Yes, okay?
Don't be a sheep.
Watch your
No.
Netflix queue.
Don't be sheep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be wrapping up issue 90. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitter at Keeping Up With The Nerds. Follow us on YouTube at Keeping Up With The Nerds if you guys want to see the visual representation of the podcast. And listen to us on all audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Podbean. Did you know that you can now rate our podcast on Spotify?
Oh God.
Apple Podcasts, give us a rating if you guys are listening on there. But if you guys listen to us on Spotify, it's the preferred platform that I like.
Please be nice.
Yes, go on over and rate us on there. Let us know what you guys think.
Or
Honest
don't.
thoughts.
Either
Yeah. No, stop.
Bring it.
I ain't scared.
What are you gonna do? One star me? Do it, coward!
And that's 5 1-stars.
Yeah. That's someone
Congratulations,
making
Bryan.
5 different accounts, just going one. Oh, what?
Check us out on our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, for all the up-to-date information on videos, podcasts, and articles when they do release. Sign up to our newsletter on there as well, because I think we send out an email every week or something like that, just to kind of remind you guys of things that are going to be posted on there.
Wait, we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The newsletter does that automatically.
That's the reason why we have a
I'm sorry if we're
newsletter.
annoying you guys.
No, we're
It's not annoying. We're keeping them up to date.
Yeah, exactly. You're keeping up with us.
Yeah, you're keeping up with the
Keeping up with the nerds. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Don't spam it.
Oh yeah, you want to know something? The Kardashians are coming back, but they no longer are keeping up with the Kardashians.
All right.
We won the battle.
Yes.
why are they keeping up with the Davidsons?
No,
now?
they're just Kardashians. No, they're just
I guess this is my show.
I swear to God, I'd actually watch that show.
I would be more
I would-
inclined to watch
I would
Keeping Up
be-
with the Davidsons.
I would be more inclined to just follow Pete Davidson.
It's Pete
around.
Davidson living in his mom's
Okay,
basement.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
and then you
it's Pete
just see Kim come over.
And like he has Kim coming over, and then like he's like, "Oh yes, did you say hi to my mom?" Or like you came down and like you
Yeah.
see Kim Kardashian
She's just sitting on the couch on her phone.
taking photos.
Yeah.
While Pete Davidson's packing a bowl.
Yeah.
It's just- and then you have like Machine Gun Kelly come over for no reason.
Yes, and Megan Fox.
Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly,
Yeah.
and they both just start playing Halo.
Yeah, then like
Well,
you
you
just
see-
see like Megan and Kim just go off shopping.
So I'm going to cut this entire part of the podcast off because this is what we got to present to the people working at the 20th century spotlight or whatever
I'm,
it's called
I'm
now.
just saying, I'd watch that show.
I would too.
I'd watch that show. That show's hilarious.
And then just see like Pete Davis get a notification. It's like, oh, it's Kanye.
Here, let me send him a
Like-
photo real quick.
Wait. He's like, wait, did and the machine's like, what, did he send you a message? No, he tagged me in something. He's like,
Nick, you ready to wrap up this issue up?
Yeah, I'm
All
ready.
right.
Let's do
Thank
this.
you guys for
We're
joining
ready.
us on this podcast. Nick, let's do it.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 90. My name is Nick Valero.
This is Brian.
Rene.
Recording at Undercity Comics in Whittier, California. We want to thank everybody for listening to this issue and hope to see you all next time.